Hello, and welcome to Knights of the Night Actual Play Podcast. This Dresden Files story, Delivery, was written and run by your GM, Tom. And now, please enjoy episode 81, titled Promises. Alright, before we get started, a little feedback we have to go over. Two comments on the KOTM podcast, and so far up to 19 votes on the favorite player character. Yes, and Mike is now pointing over at London, who is running away.
By far the biggest lead in the game.
Yeah, and the easiest character to play.
Roberto Martinez is behind in second, but...
Who?
Roberto.
Who?
Eye gouger.
What does he do?
Eye gouger.
Around here?
Eye gouger, a.k.a. Kool-Aid Man.
The way I see the voting, the last time I looked at it, is when you watch the very first Star Wars, who'd you like better, Luke Skywalker or Han Solo? Everyone liked Han Solo. So it's always easy to play the smart aleck.
Scoundrel?
Yeah, scoundrel kind of guy, where Mike and some of the others here are trying to play the straight-laced, dealing with the moral dilemmas. All
right, the first comment was on episode 7-8, which was punctuated with punches, in which Roberto Eye Squisher gained his name. And it was from our friend, we haven't seen him in a while, Rocket.
Oh, wow.
He said, "Hey guys, it's Rocket. I'm really enjoying the Dresden social combat aspect of the game. I was generally concerned for London and Allan's well-being when they were trapped in the room with Constance.
As was London.
And the sun lamp questioning sequence was a stark contrast to the hospital scene." And I think he's referring specifically to Bob's conflict with the bee lady.
Right.
He said that Edmund and Maxwell were holding all the cards. And they forgot about Roberto. Rocket.
Right.
The actual important one.
Well, good to hear back from
Which is
Rocket.
What I said, Rocket. You've been missed, and I'm glad you're enjoying Dresden. Have no fear, Will of Darkness, and the return of Chew is just
You
around
said
the corner.
the sun room?
Yeah, well, he was talking about you guys had all the power in that situation, as opposed to Bob's character was on the run.
Right.
And that's really a fundamental difference between World of Darkness and Dresden.
It sure is.
You guys have a lot more power, and you have a lot more control over the situation.
Absolutely.
But it's an aspect of Fate in general, that you, as players, can control the storyline much more.
And I'm looking in the next story to, and the ones going forward, depending on how it works, tweaking the social combat of World of Darkness as well to make it a bit more organic. I think it's interesting in and of its own right, but there's a couple of different suggestions in a toolbox book called Mirrors that I'm looking at, and also some other ones. So, anyways.
Our second bit of feedback from KOTNpodcast.com was on episode 80. This one was anonymous, and the statement was, "Hey, so I discovered something while going through my collection of songs by Linkin Park, a personal favorite of mine. I found that the piano part in your intro and outro songs is the same as a song called Zero Sky from their album Blood Forest. Just thought that was kind of cool." And I actually gave a call to the gentleman who wrote the song. He's at ZenAudiosmith.com, and he wrote the music for us specifically and asked him if that particular artist was any influence on it. And he said, no, actually he wasn't really familiar with their music at all, but there are 7 basic chords in music, and that's something that musicians have to deal with all the time, is saying, hey, that song sounds like this song. And he had never intended that. He might have came up with something, a piano riff or something that came up similar, but that was, they weren't familiar. I mean, he was familiar with who they were, but he was not
an avid follower.
No, he didn't know their music very well, and he certainly did not.
Wasn't trying to riff off
intentionally
of
trying to copy it or
that.
use it or
right. But it's nice that that's kind of a high compliment in and of itself. That true. Hey, your music sounds like a widely popular band that's known throughout the world. So
true enough.
I'm sure Joe appreciated the the enjoyment and that you like the intro and outro music. So we appreciate that.
Thank you much for the feedback. And finally, we have 2 additional comments that were posted on Facebook regarding episode 80 by the Sword, which is the latest one. The first bit of feedback we're going to have Scott read.
This next bit of feedback is from Braden Astle. I kid you not, I got goosebumps from this episode. That was some damn fine role-playing, gentlemen. This was also the first time I've ever seen a social conflict. They really do add a whole level of depth and story interaction to the game. Really good stuff. You guys are great. Thanks for posting. I'm also catching up on the World of Darkness story. I'm a World of Darkness fan too, and while the game sometimes moves at a snail's pace compared to Delivery, yes indeed, the story is no less captivating and fun. Once again, that's a Facebook post from Braden Astle.
I'm not exactly sure about that snail's pace comment, but I don't know if it's a mechanic of Dresden that kind of forces it to move along quite faster.
And I think that there was so much
you guys can drag
terror.
Anything down.
I think as your players were, you guys were scared. I mean, in a sense of you didn't want your characters to die, and you didn't know what to do next. And there was really a lot of stuff that you could examine from 17 different angles. And I think that's part of the growth of a storyteller, too, and something that I was working on towards, and Braden will probably see this as the story evolves. I was working on that towards the end of it, of pushing the pace a bit in the sense of, okay, you guys are beating a dead horse without saying you're beating a dead horse. So you can kind of move forward and the plot continues forward at something quicker than a snail's pace.
I think there were two aspects to that. One, what you just said, where we're too cautious or we're trying to ask the right questions, and so we end up having...
and you guys really loved investigating things.
And I think the other part is just the normal pace of coming back to the table and trying to get up to speed on where we were, what had happened before, and so sometimes things might be repetitive.
Right.
So...
The story was pretty involved.
Less judicious?
Sometimes it just took a while to hash things out and
I think that's part of it
where
too,
we were at, where we're going.
The complexity of the story. Not that this isn't complex, but that had layer upon layer of intrigue that was really hard to decipher at first.
I intentionally made this adventure relatively simple. What's going on because
it's pretty simple.
And we made it much more harder than it is.
Yes, you did. Because you all have a penchant to do that, which is to take a simple story and make it much more complicated, which I tried to plan on. Make it a simple story because we were just testing out the Dresden waters.
Right.
It still ended up going longer than...
you could have possibly imagined at the start of the story.
I'm sorry, John, you said something about...
They were saying that they tended to recapitulate at the beginning of every meeting so that they could remember what happened last.
Yeah,
was the editing less judicious that got in there?
No, I don't think so. But I do not doubt that my editing has gotten better over time, so maybe it was,
Okay.
Maybe I left in some stuff that could have been cut out.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you were really striving to keep the episodes at a certain length. Mm-hmm. And honestly, you guys could spend, in game time, 2 hours discussing how you were...
How we're going to open a door.
Yeah, it was, and again, it comes from experience as we move on. As you guys get more comfortable with the system, as I get more comfortable in the storyteller role, I can kind of push the pace and the plot along
I know the editing was still tight back then, because I remember we went, or at least tighter than the actual gameplay, because we went to lunch with a former player. And he said he had listened to it, and he's like, God, you guys really stay focused. And we just laughed, because, no, we don't. We don't stay any more focused than we did when you used to play. It's just that crap is edited out.
Right.
So, with that, we have one last thing. It's from Rocket, who is on Facebook now, and actually posted, really enjoying the podcast. Keep up the stellar podcasting. I'm listening to it now. So it's just a quick little comment from Rocket.
Right. Appreciate it.
Glad to see you on Facebook, Rocket. Hopefully you'll continue to enjoy the episodes. And with that, we will go on to the adventure. Okay, my name is Tom, and I'm running this Dresden File Adventure Delivery. And starting on my left is...
John, playing Roberto Martinez, Guardian of Cleveland, empowered by a fallen angel.
Scott, playing London Deals, amoral seer to the supernatural.
Mike, playing Alan Montgomery, the new warden in town.
Jim, playing Edmund Shadowski, private investigator and New World blackcourt fan.
Thomas, playing Maxwell Edison, the undercover FBI agent.
Okay. Does anybody want to make any modifications to their characters? You know the drill.
London's perfect just the way he is, thank you.
I'm sure London thinks he is.
He certainly does.
Okay, anybody? No changes?
No changes.
No changes.
Last time we left, we had London and Allan about to sit down in a conference with the devil. With Constance.
Mike thinks he's a devil. We need to go talk to Constance.
Yes, I will let you guys continue talking to the warden if you want to flush some things out. And Mike, we kind of did the movie thing where you whisper to him and there's a plan put in place, but we haven't really discussed what that plan is. If you're still not ready, I'm fine with that.
Right.
We can still do it retroactively as far all the way to the end.
I think that'll be probably a flashback reveal when the time comes.
It works.
I'm assuming Bill gave me the information about the ghoul, the Undertown, where to find. Does he also know who the father is?
No, he does not. He doesn't know a lot about what makes the child special. He just knows that the child is special and that Constance wants her and that he was in a deal to get it, and when it came down to doing it, he just couldn't.
Right. And you don't need to answer this now, but how he even got to the point where he's making that kind of deal is...
That was my question.
That's like, is
How
this
do you
his...
get involved with it?
Yeah, like, you know what? Is this the rock bottom? You know, is this him hitting rock bottom and I can't go any further, or
Trying to save his daughter? What was he doing?
Right? Is there a bigger picture involved?
Right.
Yeah.
You did ask him that, and he kind of deflected, but admitted that he went down a very dark path, and Cleveland ate him alive. After the death of his wife, things just kept getting worse and worse. He started drinking. He started doing things he wasn't supposed to be doing. Then there was a noose. And they started tightening it on him, and he had to either admit he was wrong or just keep hiding it and getting deeper and deeper in the shit.
Okay.
His daughter turning into a vampire was not the final, but it might have been near the bottom because he got more and more uncontrollable as he went farther and farther and dropped deeper and deeper into the wrong.
So we're done with him?
As far as this point, other than to say that we will reserve any details or any other things, I just want to make sure that I have what I need to move forward without having to try to relive that whole conversation.
Right. Well, what we will do, first of all, he told you that you have to go talk to the conductor, and that the conductor is not going to want to talk to you, and make sure you bring him a bottle of Mad Dog 2020, his favorite kind, and that'll loosen him up, and he'll talk to him, and then tell him that this and that you knew me, and that we used to work together, and that I told you this secret about the conductor, and he gives you some things to get you in with him. He will take you down into the subway tunnels. There's a ghoul there that he can hopefully get you close to. But it's so deep in there that no one's going to be able to get him without some kind of trouble. Even you. They are not...
I'm sorry, when you say he will take me down...
The conductor.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Will take you down. I'd like to come back to the other guys. Roberto, Edmund, and Maxwell. You guys are doing what? Last time we left you, you had talked to the two different vampires. You had agreed to let one go, Crispy Bruce.
I'm trying to remember if we were going to follow him or if he were going to go and he was going to come back.
You had worked a deal with Crispy Bruce that you would let him go and he would lead you to where she would normally hang out, but he's telling you that she's not going to be there now during the day. He'll try his best to get you guys hooked up with her tonight as darkness falls.
Well, we're going to check today anyways, just during the day to see.
Yes, that's what he offered to do.
We're counting on hopefully tonight being able to go there.
Yes.
We're hoping she has some lead on where the baby's located, because we don't know where they are, we don't know where baby is.
How do we keep this guy on leash?
He promised me.
You're talking the other guy
Do you have
or
like a
Crispy Bruce?
Both, but the Crispy Bruce.
spray bottle with holy waters?
Crispy Bruce promised me.
So his leash is his promise?
As far as I'm concerned. If he breaks it, I'll chase him
We have
down.
like a sniper, that'd be not bad.
I can't use sniper rifles. I'm not that good at guns. I'm only really good
I
at
don't think anyone
shotguns.
owns one.
Have we asked Crispy Bruce that, hey, we know that your time is limited, and we know you don't want your time to be limited, you'd like to live longer than that. What are you trying to do to rectify that situation? What is your best bet to stop that from happening? What do you guys do? I'm sure you're trying to do something to stop that from happening besides just running around and being crazy. And you got a plan, or at least some sort of a desperate plan. What is it?
The only reason I'm letting him go is because I know he's going to die.
Us, freshly made New World vampires, are imbued with the soul, normally of a child, simply because they're the most unattached to the body that they're currently in. They've had a very short time. Those souls don't last. They burn out. That's why we die. Getting a powerful soul, the one that's going to last probably indefinitely, and use it to create a new breeding mother that can create a whole new race, that's the only way we're going to make it, and we're on a timeline.
But that isn't your goal in particular.
My goal is to serve Megan and do whatever I can
and
to help her.
Megan had given up on this goal as whatever. I just thought she gave up on that goal. I don't know why I thought that. No,
I think
because
the only reason she wants the baby now is so that she can save her father.
yes.
That's true. But also,
But hey,
the baby was promised to her
The
Does she know
soul
that?
of the
I
baby.
guess she knows that.
She knows that.
by Constance.
That's a nice
She's to be
promise.
the new mother.
Yeah.
She's not going to leave us anywhere.
Well,
it would be his best interest to lead us to her, because if we lead her to the baby, that's where she wants to be anyways.
We can't lead her to the baby, we have no idea. We were hoping she could lead us, and she's not interested in that if she knows she's going to be the mother.
We needed more clues.
If it was just that she wanted to save her father, we could team up. Because we want to save her father, there's a like cause there.
But saving her saves her father. It's part of the agreement that he gets to go free if the baby gets turned into Constance.
okay.
Well, it's worth a try. I got nothing more going on.
Yeah.
You guys are still in the room with the UV lamps, and Bruce is there, and the other vampire that you guys never even deemed important enough to give a name to.
The hell was
And you hear whispering in your head.
Too many loose ends. Kill him. You don't need him. He's extra. Do it quick before they can stop you.
Everybody hears it, or he hears it?
He hears it. You take the fate point, and you do what?
Can I slink away with stealth?
I don't think you need to stealth. They're sitting there talking to Bruce and trying to decide what they're going to do.
I was just hoping they wouldn't notice me while I snap his neck. Do I need to roll for this?
He has a consequence of extremely scared that you could tap. He is bound to the cot that he's on. He's under UV light so that he has none of his superior strength or resilience or endurance, so he has no extra stress points.
I've made it do a good thing. This will free the child's soul. See, it doesn't burn up and die with him.
Whatever lets you sleep.
I got +2 to snap his neck while no one's looking. Can he dodge that?
No, he can't dodge at all.
Oh, well, then 4.
Where the hell did my dice?
He passed them to us because we didn't want you using
I
them.
thought I took new ones. Somebody give me new ones.
Here, there's some really good ones.
Oh, he's going to give me his bad ones from last week. And this is what we'll show you, Scott. It's all you. Where's these dice? -2.
6, then?
Yeah, so that actually adds 2. And his nervousness.
He snapped his own neck.
Well, no, he was like really tense, so.
Sure, that helps. That would bring it up to 6 with the extra damage I get because of my brutish strength.
That's more than enough to go into consequences. His first consequence is already there, so it rolls over to the next one. But he's an NPC of little to no consequence, so that takes him out of the scene, which means you get to dictate how you wish to take him out of the scene, which means you ripped his head all the way around until it's pointing in the opposite direction. You guys notice a loud crack, snap.
Let's get out of here.
One less to worry
Oh,
about.
it's so dangerous. There's only
We are
one-
wasting time. This guy's of no use. This one's burning up as we speak, and we're...
So you say, don't kill the vamps,
That was him, actually. That was Maxwell that was arguing that.
and then you guys go ahead and you kill one of them anyways.
That wasn't me.
They've got enslaved child souls. They use it to their own selfish ends. They're just gonna die anyway. Let's go.
I'd appreciate it if you want to kill something or somebody in my place of business that you let me know ahead of time.
When they're human, I will.
Whoa. 50% of the crimes we deal with here at a amazing detective agency don't even deal with humans.
Yeah.
You can't just fucking kill any undead, magical bullshit guy that you think isn't human.
Some of my best friends are
Not human.
Are tied to a chair in your UV room.
This
Threatening
happened?
to tear your eyes out.
I'm not complaining because I wanted to kill these guys ahead of time. I'm just
That's true.
letting you know.
Common courtesy. If you're going to kill somebody in my house, let me know first.
You people disgust me.
Yeah, this does disturb you a little bit, Maxwell, because you were fighting to keep these guys alive. Every life is sacred, you know. So,
Let's go.
you got Crispy Bruce. You're doing what?
Putting him in a wheelchair.
Oh, no. There's a vampire. That thing burns up in the sunlight after you kill it, maybe. I don't
From
know.
the UV amps on super high and
And sweep up the dust afterwards.
dust.
Okay, but Crispy Bruce is still here, and he's not dead.
You have a wheelchair? We'll bring him in my truck, and he'll lead us to this hideout.
Now I'm confused as to why you really care.
She might have a lead on the baby, and he's our only lead to her.
Okay.
And if you can call them up, which I think you failed so far, we got no other leads, unless you know of somebody.
You're the boss. What's going on?
I got nothing.
So Crispy Bruce is willing to lead you somewhere. He just first you got to untie me from this cot, right?
Willing to
Can't really lead you
to
from the
a
cot.
place where vampires usually hang out. So there's
Wheel 'em
about
out?
50 guys in there. And she's usually in there.
That
with
wouldn't
them.
work
Go
in the
ahead in
car.
that room and knock you guys up, knock yourself out.
What? What are you just saying?
This guy's gonna.
Oh, lead us to a trap.
Lead us to where we get our ass kicked.
As far as I understand, it's just him and Megan working alone, and even then, Megan might not be there.
He doesn't have a great deal of friends. They work in pairs. And he betrayed the clinic, remember?
Let's go. Stop talking and start going.
Okay, what vehicles are you using? What methods are you using to
We're putting him in a wheelchair, tying his arms with twist ties down on there.
Okay.
And we're going to wheel him down to a car, take a seat out, and put the chair in there. He's
In
going to
public?
guide us. He's crippled. We're helping him.
Look at his face. Clearly crippled.
He's crippled and unconscious.
No, we didn't need it. But otherwise.
We could drive around the back and pick him up. He doesn't need to be out front in front of everyone with a play face.
You do have a freight elevator. That's it. You used to get the two bodies up here.
Yeah, you try to be discreet.
I wash up his face while we're waiting. for the car?
Put a little makeup on, cover up all those waffle burn marks.
Get him an
Give him an
iPad.
iPad.
Yes, you have to get him an iPad since you poked one of his eyes out. Take him down the freight elevator, put him into your van.
Little van.
Company van, I don't know. Something that a chair will come out of.
Okay.
You got a nice company, so you probably have something for picking up people at the airport, or who knows, some kind of vehicles.
Yeah.
He gives you directions to a house on the east side, and you guys start driving there, and we will go back to Allan and London. You are talking to your mentor. You've gotten all the information you want, or do you need more?
I think you give me what I need for now, and the rest will leave as the flashback as needed to be determined later.
Okay. Remember, he volunteered, knowing full well that he has forfeited his life by some of his actions, and a wizard who dies has a death curse to give.
Right.
In leaving that, you knock. I don't know how you're going to
Signal these people?
sit there for a half an hour until they open the door and your time's up, because there's soundproof room.
Well, I suppose that they aren't going to give us a minute longer than what we asked for, so, and I would have used not knowing all the details we need to know. I would imagine that we're talking right up until the moment we start hearing the doors start to cycle open.
Okay.
It was not lightly to proclaim the doom upon him and give him a situation where he can die a bloody death with honor or somehow redeem himself.
Is it on the right, the secretary?
Yeah, we don't need her. We'll have Constance.
Okay.
She looks a ball breaker.
She's a ball breaker. You have Constance, along with Dale Williams. He was the
Director in charge of
medical research.
medical research.
And there's Robert Maloney there as well, the big troll-like security guard.
All right. What do you want to accomplish through this?
We are probably going to now hear what the terms are of whatever she had William doing.
Right. She's going to give us.
She, being Constance,
his mission.
says we could have the meeting here. We can take it to a conference room. Your choice of venue.
I prefer a more neutral setting with maybe some
Do you have,
bottled water.
do you have a suggestion?
Conference room will be fine.
We'll be done.
You have you two. There will be myself, Constance, and Dale Williams will be there.
Mahoney?
Mahoney can wait outside the door.
Yeah, right.
Mahoney is dumb.
Or is Mahoney staying back
Yeah, I thought he
with
was-
Bill? Or is Bill part of these conversations as well?
No, Bill's not involved.
Then, as we have two representatives, then we'll have to have, Dale and Constance will be acceptable.
Mahoney's probably the one who roughed him up. Bill even with
Probably.
Mahoney.
It's all right.
And with one last knowing look at Bill.
Robin Whitaker is the secretary of Dale Williams. She could take notes. You want her there, or you want just the four of us?
I don't think. I mean, it's up to you, but not that we need an actual
No, we don't need a...
minute.
So it's-
right.
Down to the four of you. We take you over to a conference room at
With nice windows, hopefully
rather subdued lighting. It's in the middle of the building. There's no
Facing
windows. No, sorry.
Underneath the hay patch.
Constance isn't one for direct sunlight. She's not a fan. You see her picture. She's rather attractive looking, but when you're sitting anywhere near her or walking,
Which
there,
I'm not.
is definitely the smell of decay. It's a rotting body underneath that glamour that she's wearing.
Right.
Have they disarmed me?
No, they
It
have
wasn't
not.
part of the agreement.
Yeah, or they're just not afraid of me.
Well, she knows full well that a warden's sword is his badge of office, and she's not requesting that you take it away.
Right.
This is all under, I think, court anyway.
Yeah, that's right. I invoked it, so I have to... It'd be very bad for me to...
Breach of etiquette.
If I attacked. If I defended, it's a different story.
They take you to this?
So I'm assuming that this is a different scene,
Yes, it can be.
which means that,
Do you heal anything?
yeah, what happens to our
Stress is gone.
stress damage?
All stress is removed.
But not hers, because she's still mad.
No, there are consequences. Those are not
Right.
removed.
Okay.
And nor is mine. She has 3 consequences or 2?
2.
I have 3.
The first one is she is angry and frustrated.
I have a tick.
The second one is she hates London with a hot passion.
I have mixed locution, which means I'm not quite as articulate as I normally am because I'm
Tongue-tied
so
a bit
flustered.
because
yeah.
With just her or in general?
With her.
Okay.
I figure that's on point because it's mild. But then I have a moderate, which is unreasonably angry. London usually keeps his cool, but he's a little bit on edge right now with everyone, which will be his moderate one for several days or however long it lasts.
Kind of a mirror of each other. Both flustered
Okay.
and both extremely angry at each other.
Well, that's a good way to start any type of negotiation or conversation.
Exactly, which is why you'll do much of the speaking.
They sit at the table. They offer you a bottle of water. Let's iron out the details of what we wish to
It's not even
accomplish here.
French.
Well,
per day.
Simply state what were the terms that Bill was operating under.
Bill was under oath to retrieve the child, Janice Lemon, and bring her to me.
Is that so hard?
Apparently it is.
Retrieve the child, Janice, and bring her to Constance.
Jesus, do I get Robin in here?
You are angry.
Yes. Yes, I am.
This was a simple B&E, and it's all gone pear-shaped as far as London's concerned.
Well, the difference now is this isn't a simple B&E.
No, I meant you guys are breaking and entering here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
London's pissed off.
I thought you were talking about...
No, I wasn't talking as Constance. Constance,
right.
Now, we do have a slight modification in the fact that we have Mr. Donovan here, and we will not release him until that contract is fulfilled. The contract, the payment that he got as well, was that the child was going to be used to modify his daughter, Megan, so that she would not be in the condition that she currently is, which is dying.
Are you responsible for Megan's condition?
How responsible is such a...
No, it's not.
Things happen.
Was Megan turned to coerce Bill, or was this something else?
That's not part of our negotiation.
Just asking a question, making polite conversation. Connie.
Okay, Al. So it's a simple enough thing. If you take on Bill's...
It's simple to say, but the difference is that Bill was knocking over a home in Bay Village. Now we have to relocate.
Are you telling me that your friend here, London, the most eminent seeker in all of Cleveland, can't find a simple child?
Yes, given the right materials to track down said child. Are you saying that you have any type of sample or blood or hair or...
We've given him blood before.
Do I know? I don't know this. Do I, London?
Right, so we do a brief aside to catch him up to speed with...
Whisper.
Yeah, their poor sample that they provided me, how difficult it was to actually track it, and then...
We kind of discussed it before.
I knew that you had some trouble.
What?
Remember you said...
Excuse me? Trouble? You give me a bad sample, I'm not going to be able to trace anything.
Was the sample bad, Constance?
The sample was of the mother's blood. I don't know how blood can be bad.
Because the mother's blood, not the daughter's blood we are looking for.
You couldn't find the mother.
I could find the mother.
You didn't find the mother, you found the father, the second blood sample. The mother you failed with.
The mother I couldn't find because she was a ghost.
She wasn't dead then.
Says you.
No, you happen to know at the timeline that she wasn't dead.
No, I don't.
Damn it, I'm not admitting it. You may be able to suss out the reason
how did I
if
fail?
you consider...
Was she being hidden by... No.
He's having an internal...
Why I couldn't find her.
He's having an internal monologue in his brain. One of the other players could feel free to throw in any thoughts if they...
Wasn't the mother...
well, here's the thing.
Married too, as well?
The mother was a part of the Paranet. She was a...
I thought...
Wasn't she?
The husband, the boyfriend, whoever he was Faye.
The father was
of the child.
Faye.
Right. Her husband
was not Faye. He was human. The father was not the husband. The husband was Vince. The father of the child, she got pregnant.
Right. Was Faye.
Right.
John mentioned she was Chimera as well.
I remember that for whatever reason. She had two different colored eyes.
Sarah Lemons did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did.
That's the blood that he was given originally.
A Chimera would have various kinds of blood in his veins.
He still has the blood samples?
Yes.
Okay.
He was
If they've got hair.
twiddling it through his fingers as he... But the blood sample you were given was of the mother.
Right.
John is correct that she was a chimera, and that chimeras have two different sets of DNA, two different blood types, and you have never even heard of that, let alone tried to track somebody down with a mixed blood type. It's almost, you're looking for one person when you're really looking for two type of thing. It's just way outside the bounds of anything you've dealt with before.
Sure.
And that starts to click on, well, okay, yeah, sure, that's pretty fucked up. That could explain why it failed.
Right. That makes perfect sense now.
Okay. Well, I have, right now, back in character, I say, London has proven his abilities before, and I'm sure he will continue to do so. But the environment, the situation has changed, so I need to have a little more time to recover the child from where I imagine she is now.
From From my point of view, take as long as you want. But Megan isn't going to be around much longer to receive this part of the oath.
What is your estimated time frame for Megan's demise then?
Less than a week.
How am I supposed to contact you?
There's here. I can give you my home address, wherever you'd like to deliver their package.
What was in the flash forward?
I would prefer a neutral territory. Would you object to that?
No, that's fine. I'll bring my package and you can bring yours. Mine being Bill.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, we want to specify here, don't we?
A moment with my client. Who do you want her not to bring?
We need Bill in line of sight with her when the ship.
She's not listening. She can't hear you.
Okay. Well, we try to double cross her.
If we know she's going to be somewhere, that makes rescuing Bill much easier.
Especially if we know where Bill is too.
We know where Bill is.
I don't know if they're going to keep her.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Sure. My problem is to rescue him. If that's what you want to do, then we want Constance not to be around. So if we know she's going to be there to pick up the package, would it be easier then to make a hit on the location that we know he's at currently, and I can track him?
I'm going to point something out.
Sure.
Which, again, your characters live in this world you don't as players.
Of course.
You know for a fact that you had a hair. You used it up to track Bill now. You were in a room with Bill for 30 seconds. I assume you just went pluck and took out 3 or 4 from his head to refuel any attempt that you want to track him down.
Sure, that would be something I think we would do. Anyways, so we don't have to agree with it. I'm just throwing it out there as a possibility. If we know that Bill's somewhere else and we know she's going to be somewhere, it makes rescuing him much easier than trying to do it with the Queen of Vampires.
Well, I would like to consider
furious.
it an option, but right now there's also rescuing Bill might be giving him a chance to die honorably, not.
I'm pretty obsessed with him dying in this particular scenario.
Well, I like my job and I don't want him to take it back from me. No.
I'm sure you live by the book. You know he fucked up.
Right. Well,
Big
here's the
time.
thing. Bill's life is already forfeit.
I understand that, but aren't you putting other lives at risk by making the final encounter one that's going to take place in the most dangerous situations possible? Meaning with Constance there.
No.
Constance is 2 things. She is a very powerful blackcourt vampire. She also is a very powerful wizard. So, you're right. Dealing with her is the high-end stakes in
London,
Cleveland.
not from Scott. Scott wants
I
to reach your
understand
end game. London thinks
I don't know. I don't care about my end game.
Right.
If
London,
I blew the start, then so be it. But what he discussed with his mentor is this is one powerful chick. This is the black heart of Cleveland. This is a lot of the nasty. Cleveland still sucks, but this bitch is dangerous.
Right.
And if he can redeem himself in any way and take her out or
diminish her power,
a curse, a wizard's dying curse.
That's all great. I mean, that's all great for Mr. Donovan.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it's not necessarily great for Edmund or for Maxwell or for my buddy Roberto.
Mm-hmm. Or for any of you to explain to the cops when you're standing in the room with the CEO of Cleveland Clinic dead at your feet.
I think you hand her a package and it's a flippin' baby doll, and you say, no, couldn't come through, sorry. And meanwhile, we're off rescuing Bill, and everyone gets out alive and fuck Constance. Because I don't care if the baby stays with the Guardian for the rest of its life.
Well, I have an idea for that, and so far...
This table probably isn't the place to discuss it, I'm going to say.
Right, I'm just saying. Right.
Yep. One makes the point, and then...
noted. Thank you.
Yeah, then looks disgustedly at the warden and holds his tongue.
Now, that truly is a feat.
I should get
a fake point
for that.
It's so against your character, I don't think you can have a fake point.
Okay,
might have to pay one.
So less than a week for Megan. If it takes longer than a week, what other...
I didn't know you were so interested in Megan, but I assumed your major concern was cleaning up the problem that is Bill Donovan. And that deal certainly can go as long as you want.
Like as we said before, as the authorized representative of the White Council, we are handling the situation of Bill Donovan, and we will...
Understood. We will release him to your care, in which you can do whatever you want as soon as you've filled his obligation.
So is that it? Do you need anything else from her?
She has declared what the requirements are. We have determined a time frame.
Which
and
is open-ended.
well, there is a little bit of a time frame when it deals with the initial compensation. I'm just asking if the original reward ran out of time for that. What's the subsequent compensation that you're willing to offer or concede?
From my standpoint, the agreement is that you bring the child, I release Bill Donovan. As a bonus, if you do it within a week, we'll uphold the original bargain with Mr. Donovan as well and save his daughter. It's incentive for you to act quickly. You don't get an alternate incentive if you fail.
Will we be permitted to conduct our business until we rectify the situation, or will we have to deal with the black court while we go about our business here?
It depends on where your business is. If it's in our domain, you will definitely be following our rules.
Well, if I need, I don't know where London's going to lead me when we try to track down where the child has been taken again.
If I know London, probably nowhere near the child.
Well, that's my business, but my point is, am I going to have free passage in order to fulfill this bargain? I'm not going into your mansion.
You will not have free reign to walk through my house or free reign to walk through Cleveland Clinic and poke your nose in any place you wish. No. I guarantee you, the child is not under my domain. I would know.
Would you?
I would.
Is that why you hired someone to try to... Oh, sorry.
Yes, well, I don't always pick the best help, do I?
No, but if you wish this obligation to be fulfilled, you will remove whatever type of bounty that you currently have on my head. Otherwise, I will refuse to find the girl for anyone.
I
Not part of our contract.
I can see to doing that.
Thank you. Can we go now?
London's like, I got my shit. It's taken care of. We're done.
Well, no, I guess my point, I just wanted to kind of clear up that...
Yeah, we'll call you on the phone if we need to get in one of your buildings, all right? Thanks. Let's go.
She nods.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that...
You're beating a dead horse. Let's go.
An undead horse?
Yes, actually.
Okay. Surly with me. You're still subordinate and still deputy. I'll strip your resources right now, sir.
Where's the other half of my payment?
You'll get it whenever I get it ready, until we fulfill the rest of the contract.
No, I found him.
He did find Bill Donovan.
$5,000 to find Bill Donovan.
And you got paid.
I got paid $2,500.
Did I pay him in full?
No.
I thought I paid him in full.
You just sewed it down.
I'm sure you can iron out these petty squabbles later.
Okay.
Off the premises.
Get the fuck out.
Let's go.
Well, no, I guess my point...
Now, shall we make this official?
Yes.
Don't look in her eyes.
No.
Seal the agreement with a kiss.
Don't do that either.
If you want to state the actual oath, and then we'll both agree upon it.
That I am to locate and retrieve the child Janice and bring her to Constance. To Constance Rockefeller.
Okay.
At a neutral location, in return for William Donovan's undamaged and person who is treated as a guest while we're pursuing this.
Actually, undamaged anymore. He's
Any
undamaged.
further, any subsequent damage heretofore, and henceforth and forthwith. Also, that
He'd be alive.
Megan's condition, if we do it in time to rescue Megan or restore Megan Donovan, then you will perform that as well.
And
Oh, the bounty on London is to be hereby discharged.
Okay.
And no further bounties for at least another year and a day.
Year and a day. Always a year and a day.
Where's year and a day?
You might need that extra day.
You might.
I'm hoping to pursue an avenue where we're going to have to do a bait and switch.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, but part of it is, I'm going to bring it to the place where she is. But I didn't say anything specifically about handing her over, delivering unto her, giving the child away to her. I'm bringing it here.
Okay. But what I want you to realize is she's a shrewd person. She's going to notice that the wording is a little bit off. But I want you to make a roll to sell it to her. And you can tap into the fact that she is pissed beyond belief at this guy, that she's also sitting at the table to give yourself a little bit of a bonus.
And I appreciate that.
Try to
And
get
I will
it
also
done.
acknowledge that I was listening to what you were saying, and I wrote down exactly how she said it. I'm trying to use her words to help disguise that fact. She said, bring the child.
Okay. And please use those words. That's fine.
Right. Well, I will do blood, or I will infuse it with magic so it becomes binding. I'm not afraid to meet her gaze.
Are you locking eyes with her?
Looking at her nose.
It's very pretty nose. Very pretty.
All right.
If you still got one.
So, you're going to have to make a roll to deceive her into not calling you on this.
what's your deceit?
Oh, I don't have it.
Savage.
I'm not saying you have to use deceit. You have to use a skill. that you have to justify to me.
Conviction doesn't really apply here, right?
You truly believe that you're going to screw her over?
I mean, it is using my magic in a way to fuel the fire. No.
Use some kind of
He's
social
saying, I'm using magic
Hey,
to
well,
ensure
the
this
social
is
skills
discipline.
really screwed. Which my highest are what? My sword. Oh, I swear my sword. Weapon. Come on.
I could see.
Wait, what skill are you using?
Here's my option.
Deceit?
I don't have deceit.
You have presence?
I would suggest lore, sneaking in.
Lore is the only thing I could see that would stretch to this, because
Now.
this is part of the Unsealing Accords. This is a formal.
It's a common ritual, and you are
right.
Can I
invoking a
help
ritual.
him?
If you can explain to me how, sure.
But would I be able to tap one of her consequences?
You could give him both of those consequences to tap.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, but you could just do that and say,
I'm pissing
you
off
have
while you're talking.
right.
Right.
We can edit.
I will just
Drumming my thumbs on
right
the table.
doing something
shaking my
irritating
head.
so that it brings it to the front that he can grab that. In addition to it, you can do a maneuver that would also do it above and beyond,
that
giving
give
him
four.
those 4 points.
Well, he can just
over
give
his
them
oath?
to me?
Yes.
Or transfer them?
No, you can just transfer them outright.
But he has to spend points
No.
to tap them?
No, because
That's
those are
given.
consequences you inflicted on
The
her.
first time you use them, you don't have to.
And the first time is free, and you can give that use to someone else.
Oh, that's nice.
I think I used one of them last week is all.
You may have.
So maybe I'll say I have one consequence
Okay.
of hers to tap, and I'd like to make a lore roll to try to. Is it a maneuver?
Well, I was also going to maybe confer with him, like, here's what I'm going to say. You're the wordsmith, counselor. How am I?
Right. I was going to just say something along the lines of, obviously, her not having the proper knowledge of how an oath works. Just that allows him to then tap into that anger that she has. I am drawing myself up to my full stature, using my most honeyed words, which are going to really annoy her right now, and say that she's not quite. He needs to dumb down the oath because she doesn't quite know how they work, thereby giving him her anger consequence.
I got that, and you're also adding a maneuver. And I would say normally that it would be something that would be superbly difficult. But in her present agitated state, I think we take that down to great. That
I rolled a fantastic.
Okay.
I rolled a +1 on my fudge dice, and my presence is one thing I really put a lot of points into, so it's superb. So that gives me a fantastic to give him that maneuver.
You got fantastic on your roll, which is enough for you to, again, annoy the hell out of her above and beyond her consequence and just get her steamy mad, which is a +2 maneuver for him in addition to giving him the consequence of +2. So you have +4 just coming up against her, Mr. Allan Montgomery.
So
now she is using empathy. She's reading people to see if you're trying to pull something over on her.
Wouldn't Dale Williams get a role in discerning this too?
Calm down, Constance. I can see that.
Sure.
And to save her, or just
this kid's killing me.
No, it's a valid point.
It is a valid point.
Now, is he going to help her with the maneuver as well, or is he simply going to try to spot the difference would be the question. He is not going to assume that she's making mistakes and try to help her.
He's looking for his own.
subservient. He's listening, and if he spots something, he's going to mention it. So he gets a roll as well, but he's not doing a maneuver to
He's doing
help
his
her.
own thing.
Right.
So it's almost like two rolls against Mike.
He's just being quiet, but if he hears something, well, I can get points here by pointing out that he just tried to pull something, as opposed to him actively trying to help her and say, you're doing this wrong, you should do this instead. So, they both get a roll. She's using empathy, and he's using his lore to look at the ritual.
Is it my turn to roll?
It's your turn to roll.
Yeah. All right. I hate this moment. Moment of truth. I have the free consequence from London +2, my lore skill +4, London's help +2.
His maneuver, yes.
His maneuver. I will spend my fate point. Yeah.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
No. Okay.
So you have 8 that you're adding to your fate roll, right?
And now I'm about to roll these beautiful, wonderful, and certainly impressionable dice.
Pocket them kindly, Mike. Pocket them kindly.
+1.
One above legendary at 9.
if you want to beef those up, you do have 2.
But he doesn't need to do that until he sees what they roll, correct?
You don't spend them until you...
Yeah, I'm ready to, before you roll and say anything, I'm ready to spend.
I understand. So Constance's roll was fantastic. So your roll was above that. In her present state, she doesn't notice the slight flaw in your oath.
It's a legendary deal.
Dale Williams rolled rather poorly on his fate dice for a -2. So his was only good.
Because who's ever seen Constance schooled in her own conference room before like I'm doing?
So both of them seem to accept the deal. You both clasp hands and you do a little magic over it to bind it into a magical oath. What is it?
What's that?
Read the name.
Show the audience.
Well, that would be very Dresden universe-like.
And you could disguise it. Make it look like the baby.
You gotta put that up on the site if you do
Spell
that.
it the same and
It
everything.
is, really. It's spelled Janus.
It's a Janus brand hand grenade or something?
Yeah, really.
Never heard of one.
Does it specifically say the bear's got 2 different eyes?
Or maybe just a little
That would
bust.
be
That would be freaky because I didn't. Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to do a blood oath because she is a vampire after all, and I still don't want to give my blood to anyone. So I thought I could just infuse my magic and give it the oath. You know how he says,
I swear on my power.
"Oh, no, I'm not swearing on my power." But
So, you guys clasp handshake, you do a bit of a spell to bind it?
yes,
Okay, we'll go with that. And with that, Hocus Pocus, a little bit of fairy dust.
I got a meeting with the realtor, so
Gotta go.
It'd be
Gotta go.
awesome.
They call back in Robert Mahoney, who escorts you out of the building.
Bodily?
Yes.
No,
Roughly.
And when you leave the building, your phone vibrates a few times, London, to let you know you've got like 2 messages on there. Thanks for listening to Knights of the Night Actual Play Podcast. Visit kotnpodcast.com for more information on this and other adventures, where you will find character stats, photos, storytelling props, and even a forum for comments and suggestions. Or you could email us directly at feedback@kotnpodcast.com, or contact us via Twitter or leave a message on Facebook. All music for this podcast was created and performed by Zen Audiosmith. If you'd like custom professional music created for your podcast or business, please visit zenaudiosmith.com. And please join us next episode for more mystery and adventure.
rescuing Bill might be giving him a chance to die honorably, not.
I'm pretty obsessed with him dying in this particular scenario.
Well, I like my job, and I don't want him to take it back from me. No. You know how he says,
I swear on my power.
No, I'm not swearing on my power.
Thomas, pretty much no matter what the child turns into, it'll be interesting.
Oh, yeah. It'll have long-reaching effects. I'm just saying those are some other things we could
But
do.
perhaps not under the tutelage of the vampire.
Or a ghoul.
Not that I think the Fae is any better, but
All the vampires we're dealing with now wouldn't put her under tutelage. They would, and do some dark ritual and tie her to Megan.
They would sacrifice her.
You haven't written anything up for it?
or the being switched.
Hell no, I haven't had anything
So while
written
he
up for
will
any of this
fulfill my
shit. I'm
bargain,
winging it all.
If the other Rockefeller got a hold of this child, that'd be interesting. She wouldn't kill
For
her.
one day.
I don't think.
She could train it in magic or something. I think she's a witch.